Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about Otto Audio's L.E.A.D based VST plugin, whatever you want to call it. So if you don't have a bass, you don't know how to play bass, you don't always want to call your bassist friend to play bass on your productions, your songs, or when you're writing stuff. No problem. Let's listen a song first where I use this. Bow. Alright, L.E.A.D. This could be thought as lead, but Reed from Otto Audio told me that it's L.E.A.D. Lyijy in Finnish. Okay, so what do we have here? The processing is exactly what I use when I play real bass, and this song is in drop B flat tuning, and that ESP Ltd bass there, the deluxe. Phoenix Deluxe, I think it is. Yes, that's in that tuning. Similar pickups, two humbuckers, like this one looks like two active humbuckers, 4 strings. I just used the processing on this one, what I use when I play real bass, which is pretty damn cool. I don't need to fuzz around. So what we have here, first there's different styles. So the sustain is, at least to me, just like your normal bass playing. Sustain downpick, then everything downpicked. I didn't use that because I made these like I would play with a real bass. So do that riff. On guitar I downpicked it. On bass I would have played it like do alternate picking. Then there's jugs, which are kind of like little kind of muted. I didn't use them. I hardly use kind of jugs. Even if there is jugs with bass, I kind of keep the bass open because I want the low end to be solid and just go there. And the guitars can do but bass usually do. So that just gives it the thunder. Then there's some harmonics, tremolo picking. I will show you these. Actually, I will show you these now. Let's say if I do a tremolo. Does this sustain down picking. Let's use the C. Then sustain. It kind of sounds like up picking, so it does that. Chugs. Kind of muted. Harmonics. Slide up. Man, slide down. This is what I used on the song. Bends, I use this also. ding, and some crazy effects. So different keys, you get different. Like you can really, program this to sound like, like it was played. And then there's attack, decay, sustain. I just tweaked this until it sounded like I actually would have played the bass. Decay time, release. So if the release is really short, it's kind of it sounds like most of these similar plugins sound like really unnatural. So with the release and decay, I was able to make the program MIDI bass sound like how it would have sounded if I would have played it. Then there's aggressive and natural style. Aggressive is aggressive, like kind of how I play. Natural, it sounds almost like finger picked. Let me show you. Okay, let's put it to a normal note. And then natural, it's kind of softer. The aggressive is just like how I play. It's mono and stereo mode. You can do crazy things. Usually, bass is mono, but let's say if you want to go crazy in your production, you can put it to stereo. String force. What this does is let's say C. I put a string force. It kind of changes randomly switches the notes, like where you play them on the fretboard. Because if you play C, let's say here, or then if you play the same octave, but let's say you play C on A string, but then if you play C on E string, it sounds a little bit different. So this kind of does that. I didn't use this because I programmed the MIDI, which I'm gonna show you in a minute, that especially the notes and strings I wanted. And there's samples, and then there's cabs on and off. So right now I'm using this just as a bass, but then you can use it, have these, I think it says capped, but to me it sounded like there's like a full signal, say like amp and cabinet. I had this bypassed because I used my go-to processing on bass. So first there's parallax, and this is the same. The processing is the same on all of these 3 tracks, because as you can probably figure out, this is basic. That's the basic. And then there was the slides on the riff. This is the slides. Boom, boom. And then on the chorus, there's this bend. So then like this is my basic sustain. This was the slide down. And the bends, I had this then on bends. But the processing is exactly what I use on my real bass. Parallax, I do use sometimes other plugins too, a lot of times, but parallax has been my go-to for a long time. This is the stock preset called Clean Bite. Compressor, let me show you actually how this sounds. And now it's just the bass. See here, the compressor brings some aggression. Then I EQ'd it a little bit like I usually EQ. I don't like mids on bass, especially around here, like this 200, 5, 6, 800 area. I don't like it on bass. It's just a little bit kind of. Much better. More lows, more presence, upper mids. Then I had this low control, which I use with real bass always. It just adds a little bit of those sub frequencies. in there. And then the SSL 4K EQ. The only thing I did with this was I trimmed the input a little bit. Well, you can see the red light, but when the red lights are occasional on SSL, on a real SSL, like on this one too, it sounds good. But if it's constantly on the red, it can be a little bit too much. So I trimmed the input and added the mic pre flavor, the Jensen mic pre, which is exactly like on this actual real channel strip. Yeah, let's check out the MIDI. So how I did this, I just draw the MIDI in here. Here should be is the slide, which is on this track. And because this goes like, let's see how low this actually goes. Okay, so it goes to F sharp -1. This is like insanely low. I mean, this is drop B flat. So I haven't come across a bass plugin that goes this low. This and still like, man, and it sounds kind of like natural. I was really surprised because, to be honest, when Reed first asked me that would I want to check this out, I told him that I'm not interested. I use real bass because these are not that good, because they just doesn't sound like a real bass. And he was, well, I'm gonna send it to you anyway. Check it out and do a video, you know, if you like it. Well, I like this. Now I'm doing the video because I was like, oh wow, this actually sounds and feels like a real bass, and I managed to sound really close to how I play bass. So yeah, then it's just like this MIDI, and here are the slides. If we solo these, obviously I could make these longer, but I wanted it to be that just like guitar, like how I would play it. And then here's the bends, and these I could also make longer, but I want it to be like a little bit different than on a guitar. I like the combination of guitar and bass on this part. It's really cool. I didn't do any MIDI operations, any randomizing, anything, because usually that's what I always do, because many times these sound so artificial, but I didn't do anything. It sounded like I would play it. Okay, then let's listen to the whole thing. I dropped the bass off so you hear how much it actually... And yeah, one thing, there's the symphonic chorus on bass without on parallel. I use this always. It just makes it... I like it. And then on the bass bus, there is a little saturation. Just do some and really, I mean, these are both like on equal. These are both on equal level, but it's still very clear. And even though this is not about guitars, I know that somebody's gonna ask anyway what I use on guitars. The guitars was this ESP Mirage custom from '87 with EMG pickups, EMG 81, EMG S. And then I used my hard hitters captures. So the left guitar is 808, Maxon 808 SLO, and the impulse response is my Marshall Carnivore. This is from my IR Pack 1, 57 and Royer 121 slightly blended in. The right guitar is a ST1 and JCM 800BB, which is the bad boy here. The SLO is actually maintenance at the moment because I blew it up, one of the tubes and the fuse and everything, but it will be fine. And with the bad boy I'm using, and these are from my IR Pack 2. Links to the both also in the description below. So this is the Marshall Cabinet EVH speaker 57, Marshall Cabinet EVH speaker Royer 121. Sound like this. This is basically just like if I would record with my real gear, which are great. So yeah, that's the guitar sound. Hard hitters and IR Pack 1 and 2. Conclusion. This is the first, I don't even know what these are called, MIDI bass plugins. This is the first one I have tried that actually sounds and feels, or I was able to, well, it sounds and feels like a real bass, like as close as it can probably be, at least at this point in time. So I'm really happy with this. And if I'm writing something, let's say I'm on tour, wherever I have a guitar, I don't have bass, I will definitely use this. I'll put links to the description below. Let me actually check, did we agree some kind of discount with my if you use my link or code? Let me check our email. Yes. Hey, this is cool. If you use EV40 code when you at the, I think, checking out, when buying this, you'll get 40% off, which is really cool. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. The L.E.A.D rules. Until next time. What I was going to say, I'm pointing downwards and say until next time. Check out the links from the description below. Until next time. Now it's right. Until, yeah, you know the drill. Let's see in the future here in YouTube. All right, take care, bye. I'm excited.